everybody. Welcome here today, Thursday, August the 20th. Very hard to believe that we're already like 3/4 of the way through August. Where has the summer gone? It's just another beautiful day. We've been really lucky, I think. We've had a few rainstorms and that sort of thing over the last week, but typically the weather's been really nice this summer, not overly hot, I would say, just very nice. So yeah, I've just loved the summertime. And actually right now, as you can see behind me, my gardens are like in full bloom. I have these lovely yellow flowers everywhere. They multiply, and I hardly have the heart to pull them out because they're just so beautiful. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here and that you've joined us today on Audrey Live. We have a great show for you, a great lineup. Today we have Karen Beaupre from Southern Ridge Trading Company. She'll just show us a little sneak peek at a few of her new chipboard kits from her shop out there in Peachtree, BC. So we'll have a sneak peek at a few new things that she has in the store. And of course, you can order online too, but we'll get to that later. Also, we have live today, our guest is Kathi Hanson. And we're really excited to have her with us and for her to share all the things that she's been doing right now and maybe some new projects she's working on. So that'll be exciting. And then at the end of our show, we have a special, I guess, announcement or a special something that we're doing. We have 2 live special guests coming on at that time. So you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned, stay here and watch Audrey Live. Make sure that you share and comment and post as the show goes on. We will be doing Kathi will be doing a draw today. So we do have a draw today, a door prize. So that will be chosen at the end of the show from everybody that comments. Your name will be put into the random draw. So make sure, that you comment and share that sort of thing. And also, if you are unable to see all the shows, you go to our YouTube channel, Pin It Canada, subscribe, hit the bell, and you will get notifications. Typically, we get the notifications up the show up every Saturday. Corey's been doing that over in Korea, but the last 2 weeks have kind of been busy for her because she's going to be home next week, Saturday. So she's kind of in her last couple of weeks there. So we're just kind of letting her do her thing, enjoy her time with her friends there, do a little more sightseeing. And when she gets home, then we'll make sure that we're on that regular schedule to get the show up on our YouTube channel. So anyway, just wanted to mention too quickly on Thursday, September 17th, on our Audrey Live show, we would have been out in Alberta. That was the first day of the Artways West show. And of course, we have postponed that due to COVID and, many different reasons for next year. So we are going to have a 2-hour special that day, and it'll be a lot of our vendors and educators that were going to be at the Art Waves West show. We'll be showing what they would be doing there, possibly showing, what they would have had in their booth, some specials that you can still get some information from them and see what it would have been all about. That's the next best thing that we could do for you. So, so right now, I think I will show you Karen's video. We'll get this up and going. It's a little soft, so we have our volume on high, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. So here's Karen.
Hi everyone, how are you today? It's Karen here from chipboard.ca, Southern Ridge Trading Company. I'm just going to take you with another little walk around my store, and I'm going to show you a few little cool kits that are fun to do for the summer, even for kids that are home. I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you, first of all, this little bowler trailer kit. I'm not sure if you can see it very well. Bear with me. Those are my painted ones. They come like this with chipboard. And what I did with this one is, well, it's still laying flat. I designed them like this on purpose because they're easy to paint, they're flat, they're light to ship, so it costs you less. But anyway, to get the color bright and vibrant, I put a coat of gesso on it first, and then I paint it up the way I want it. I snip it apart and I put it together because all the pieces are like little 3D pieces that go on top of each other. And you'll notice that I have a little gnome here, and on this one as well. And I do have the gnome kit as well. So I'm just going to walk you around the store and I'm going to show you some of these little kits. This is the little gnome kit. And again, it lays flat with all the pieces. You can see it in the back as well. Comes in several different sizes. Here is the violin kit. Again, some pieces that can be put together. This is the camera kit, and the camera kit comes with instructions. And it doubles as a frame, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I'll walk you around and I'll show you a few more. This one is my flip-flop kit. It was really popular in the summer with the kids. It's got some dollar store jewels on it, but it comes in 4 pieces like that, and you take it apart and paint it with stencils or whatever it is you want. Oh, and I have a fall kit, one with pumpkin. It's called Hello Autumn. And again, it's, you can't see the words really under this tag, but it's got leaves and branches, and I just painted mine orange. I put the branches all the way around the outside. I put Hello Autumn in the middle, and it's cute. I'm going to make a little sign out of it. I'll take you over to Christmas. There's a big Christmas section. Anywhere from stars and deer and snowflakes and sleighs and words. Even the truck with the tree. That's a popular one. We've got all kinds of cut-aparts here. Snowflakes have been cut-aparts, and now they can come in white. Anyway, so that just gives you some ideas. I'll take you over to the stencil section. There's the Believe kit. That's been around for quite a while, but still very popular. We have the Love stand-up kit. That's popular as well. And there's the stencil section. And that's going to be expanding as well very shortly, as we have some new stencil releases coming out. Okay, so I hope that does it for you. That was just a quick little run around today. Anyway, I hope everybody is well. Great minds inspire others, so continue to inspire the ones around you, and have a great day. Okay, bye. Hi everyone, how are you today?
Isn't that great? She's got some wonderful things there. I think I need to go to BC soon. A lot of people were asking, where can I get them? Where can I get them in the US? Her website, I believe, is www.chipboard.ca. If anybody's on, I see Holly's on, Kim Evans, a few other. If you can put the link on there so people can order, and I'm sure she'll send to the US. I believe she will. So you can just go to her website and order a lot of these kits. And aren't they adorable? I love these new chipboard kits that she has. So thank you, Karen. And I think she's going to have another video for us coming up in about a month or a couple of weeks on demoing some of these, showing some of the demos and what she does with them. So that will be coming. Anyway, there you go. Thank you, Kim. Kim put chipboard.ca. I was right. How did I remember that? I don't know, but thank you, Kim, for putting that on there. And welcome, everybody. We got a lot of people on today. Shipping is reasonable. We've got Melody. We got Joy. We got Kathy. Oh, hi, Kathy. I'll be with you in a minute. Marcia, Linda, Holly, Karen, Sue. I see, Sue, you're still in the hospital. Oh, my goodness. I'm just glad that you're watching us and that we're bringing a little bit of joy to your day. So our next live guest is Kathi Hanson, the one and only. We're so excited to have her with us today. For the past 35 years, Kathi has traveled the world teaching workshops. She is known for her vast knowledge of subject matter and her unique special effect techniques in multiple mediums. Her workshops are as varied as the audience she presents them to. She has taught art leagues, decorative painting chapters, colleges, state art educators, conventions, and professional development events for individual school districts. Kathi has won numerous awards for her work, published over 80 articles in art magazines, and has featured artists in several art technique books, and her instructional DVDs are sold worldwide. Welcome, Kathi.
everybody. Thanks for
oh no, she's worrying.
This is my first, and I'm driving my son nuts. I'm like, where do we go? What do we do? He's like, calm down.
Calm down. It'll happen. Just stay where you are. I know it's kind of funny sitting in that waiting room. You know, you kind of click on and you're waiting like, okay, it's not happening. But yeah, once we get to that point, and of course the Facebook is about a 30-second delay. So, you know, sometimes it's a little confusing, but we're just so glad that you're here.
I am.
That you're with us, and we're live.
Thanks so much for having me. Hi, everybody. So good to be able to interact with everyone again. It's been way too long.
Way too long, for sure, for sure. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe, you know, what have you been doing the last 6 months or 8 months or a year? What's been going on in your life and in your creative art business?
Well, you know, art has flipped totally for me, because what most of you probably are not aware of, the decorative painting aspect of my art is a small portion to what I do. I lecture at colleges for drawing 1, drawing 2, sequential illustration students. I teach at all the state art and national art educator conferences and do all of their professional development training. And then when there's time, I always make sure I block in. I get to do a few of the decorative conferences because that's where my heart is. And prior to getting as busy as I was traveling, I was doing a whole bunch of magazine articles. So I really thought, wow, 6 months off, I can do all that. That hasn't been the case. It's been unpacking, reorganizing, something else I've never done, 24-hour healthcare for a while. So lots of ideas out there. You're basically my jump start to being able to carve out that time to get them out there. So thank you.
You're welcome. And how is your husband doing, by the way?
Good and bad days. We're hoping for good. Right now we're doing 6 weeks, 3 hours a day in a bariatric chamber, hoping that, well, he's got a rare autoimmune. You know, the man was never sick a day in his life, and he is making up for it. So it's like 6 hours a day with travel and treatments. And it's been challenging, but you know what? We all like a challenge, right?
Exactly, exactly. So how did you start into the creative art business?
You know, I got to be honest, it found me. I probably would not been near as successful if I had a game plan. I started out, I was at a NAFTA show, which is a National Art Material Trade Association. I was going with a store owner that I did fine art classes for. And I saw Whatman watercolor paper that hadn't been around for years from England. And I was like, oh my God, you have Whatman. And she was like, what do you do with it? And I'm like, well, as fine art, you can do blah, blah, blah. It's decorative, you could do this or this or that, you know me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't know I was talking to the head of creativity and education. And all of a sudden she's like, I want to talk to you. And Silver Brush Limited's owner was in her booth, and Sakura, and they're like, come to our booths too. That was an opportunity. Everywhere I went, I was so blessed. Somebody saw me somewhere I was, whether it was a TV producer said, I'd love to see this on air, or a magazine editor, or someone who did creative painting for years. I didn't even know about those conventions, saw me teaching somewhere and said, you need to submit there. So, I mean, I've just been really blessed. I have just been at the right place at the right time, I guess.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. So when did that start? Like, that was your career?
30 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
And the kids were still small. It was found a decorative painting chapter. I've been doing fine art prior because I've taught K-8 art too. And I just said, oh my God, I just love the fact everyone shares and the camaraderie. We don't get that a lot at the other end of the spectrum. And really, it was finding the Illinois Prairie Painters when I lived in Illinois at the time that introduced me to conventions. And then pretty soon, you know, the chapter would ask me to teach. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe I'll submit, you know, it just, and it timed perfect because when the kids were little, I could only do a little. And then as they got older, more opportunities presented themselves. Like I said, I could not have, I probably wouldn't have been near as good if I tried to do it on my own.
Well, you're a natural, so obviously they saw something in you that you know, that they liked, your personality and your
I will pay
skill.
you later for that. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely, I mean, your booth, I every time I go to a show or that I've gone to Hoot or wherever I've seen you, Las Vegas, your show, your booth, there was always something in there, and it was probably you. I mean, it was your personality and your willingness to help people and to show them things. So
Well,
that
and
obviously
I think part of it is, there are so many talented people in our industry
Mhm.
that, I mean, I love acrylics, I love mixed media, I love journaling, but I was always like, why give them one more person to have to choose from? I was fortunate enough to know pencils and a lot of other mediums. And I'm like, I'll offer something no one else isn't, because at some point in time, there's always that thought goes through our minds. Oh, I love doing this, but it'd be nice to try something else.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's part of the reason my booths are busy is I show them weird stuff that I've thought of.
Awesome. And you're talking about pencils, so you've done a lot of work for General Pencil Company as well.
Yeah, that sort of started out the same way. I met the president when I was in Canada teaching, and it started out, they really didn't have artwork, so I do watercolor all the time, and I'm like, well, give me some of those watercolor pencils. I'll do something for you. And I went back to the room and I drew in wet like everybody does, and I went, oh my God, this is just so ugly, one-dimensional. I'm gonna look like an idiot. So I swear I was up almost all night trying different things. And all of a sudden, when a boo-boo happened, I'm like, it could do this or this or this. So I came back the next day and had a huge watercolor design. And she's like, our pencils did this. I said, well, you don't just draw, you blah, 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 blah. Then it was like, will you do a video for us? And then would you teach workshops? And then pretty soon it was I'm basically like their head of art and education for them, consult with them, teach at all levels, colleges, teachers, packaging artwork. Again, it just slowly evolved into a full-time job as of maybe like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's awesome.
And they are wonderful to work with, because I tell them in advance, no, I'm travel teaching here or this conference. They work around it. They're the most kind, generous people for our industry, and they make an awesome artist grade product. So again, lucky me,
Perfect. Well, what are you going to show for us today? And also you had a little treat for people, I believe.
Yeah, the more I thought about it, I thought I would give away at the end of the day, if someone, for anyone who commented, I was going to give a full set of 24 Whoa. Of the Kimberly watercolor pencils and the Sketch-A-Marsh pencil if we get to it.
Awesome. Oh, that'll be special. So make sure you comment and ask questions while Kathi is doing her demo here. So anyway, I will pin you so that you can get to us. What are you going to show them today?
All right. I'm assuming I can switch cameras, right? Switch camera. Let's see if that, whoop, wrong thing. What did I do?
You're gone.
Switch camera.
Usually it's just like a click or something like that you're switching from us seeing you to, are you still there? Uh-oh, she's left.
No, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Oh yeah, there you are.
Right, so now I go to switch camera, but it won't let me. Why is that?
Uh-oh, where's that son of yours?
Cody?
Oh.
Okay, wait a minute. And
it's always interesting when it's live. We're all okay.
Enter full screen, keep on top, enter minimum view, gallery view, mute audio, start video, no, start share.
Well, you want to start, no, you want to start video.
Start video.
There you go. So you're back.
Now I go to switch camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect.
Hey guys, I warn you, I am not computer savvy. This is why I let my son live.
And just a couple things before I get started. Karen wants to see a close-up of the pencil cover. And Liz wants to know, are those watercolor pencils made in Canada or in the US? Or where
They
are
are,
they made?
all of General's products. Here's the is it blurry to you?
Nope, that looks fine.
Okay,
That looks good.
perfect. And yes, that's this artwork was actually done all with those pencils. They are not the only artist grade pigment out there, but they are the only artist grade that is a true semi-transparent pigment. And what I mean by that is watercolors allow the white of the paper to filter through, whether the colors are bold or soft. And these are all done watercolor pencils. You can see the white of that paper filtering through still. The other artist brand ones have awesome color, but it's more opaque, so it almost looks like a gouache. It's great for mixed media journals, but if you want to use your pencils and true pan and tube watercolors hand in hand, you will see a transition line where that doesn't happen with these. So I wanted to show them real quick that you can do a whole scene, but they're also wonderful for when you want to try to get additional darks in tight little areas, being able to just pick up that pencil and draw with it and then wet it is so much more controlling than trying to get a brush in that small area. Sometimes you have too much water in the brush. So that's one of the reasons I love working with them is they're very, very easy to control. So today what I thought I would do is this fun little Zentangle card, because I can show you at least 2 different techniques. You can manipulate them at least like 11 different ways and get all different kinds of effects with them. So, and then he's just a little cute dimensional guy right here. Can you see that? So he's kind of dimensional, or you could leave him flat. So this is what we're going to do today. Are you there, Miss Audrey? Or you're muted? So I
Yes,
just
I'm here, but I'm muted so that I don't show up
to
on the screen.
roll.
So I'm just watching the feed for you and writing down any questions and comments that people will have. And so I'll come on once you're done the video.
All right. Well, first thing I'm going to do is one of the techniques we're going to do is draw and wet with them. You'll notice my hand is not in this handwriting position because we're working on 140 cold press watercolor paper. This you tend to press hard, and if you indent the paper, when you wet it, all the water runs to the low spot, just like, you know, in the ditch as opposed to the road. So I always put my hand up about this far back. If I want a light value, I just draw lightly. If I want a medium value, I don't press harder. I make another pass right back through it. If I want a dark one, I do my light pass, my medium pass, and then my third pass. So a good watercolor pencil, all the lines are going to dissolve and you should have beautiful pigment, whether it's light or dark. See how that instantly activates? That's a light value. This is the same color, so you can see the range of colors and values you can produce with a limited amount of pencils. Another thing you can do is, now I could let this dry and come back and draw more and wet it again, or it's so easy to get 2 swipes in one shot, just on the area that you want darker. You're going to layer more down. And then you always start activating in the lighter color because the dark's going to want to take over. And then look at how you have all those beautiful values, boom, right off the bat. I didn't do that in the butterfly today, but I could have. You also can create new colors. I want to do a light green, so I would put more of the yellow down and less of the green. You know, play around, make swatches. You're going to know after you've done this a while which color you're going to want more of. But you see how it just, you can alter these colors and get all kinds of great colors. So that's draw and wet. When you draw and wet, no matter what the value, it's all going to be the same value because you've distributed the pigment all the way across it. When you want it very soft and diffused, like on this background here, then you have to use your traditional watercolor technique where you wet it and then drop the color in. Well, I started thinking, and instead of pulling my pan and tube out, I thought, what is the difference if I squeeze it out of a tube or I draw it on a piece of 90-pound watercolor paper? Now I've used this one, this swatch up. Once you wet it, it's used. Well, once that dries, I just turn around and fill that swatch area in again. And that's basically what I do all the time when I travel teach, when I teach plein air, is I just take the same piece of 90-pound watercolor paper and I use it over and over and over. My watercolor paper of choice is the Canson 90-pound Aquarelle. It just takes a beating. I can use the same sheet of paper for like a year. It's crazy. So for the background, what I did was, alrighty. We're gonna do heliotrope on the stamp background. I will even, at the end, even write down the stamp number and everything else if anyone's interested. It's a Inkadinkado stamp and it was number 91034. I just thought it looked really cute and worked well with that butterfly I was gonna do.
Okay.
So what?
Did you say Inkadinka?
Inkadinkado.
Inkadinkado. Okay, I love that name. We'll have to make sure we put that
Now,
website.
to remember the watercolor pencils, they are made in the USA by General Pencil, but they have a lot of Canadian distributors.
Okay. Somebody was asking, yeah, where you can purchase them, and does Michaels carry them?
Michaels, Hobby Lobby, Dick Blick, online, generalpencil.com. I'm going to have individual, each one of my projects sometimes does not have all the colors in just one set. So I list them individually for each one using the pattern packet. They will be available there too, but General Pencil has their sets, Blick, Michaels, everyone. Okay. And if you can't, they can always text me or email me and I will gladly find a source for them.
Perfect. We'll make sure that we put those links on the feed there as well. So,
Or they could
I'm going to mute again. So you're just keep going.
Okay. So you're going to wet the background. You want it nice and wet and even. Okay. You don't want it dripping, but you want the paper to look shiny. When you see a shine, then you know it's wet enough. And sometimes, depending if it's hot or cold out or where you live, it'll suck it up right away, or you got to wait a few minutes for it to actually start sinking in, especially like on cards or journal pages where you don't have 140 pound. You know, the lighter pounds tend to take longer. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up some of this heliotrope. Just look how that just little puddle activates right up, and I'm just going to kind of drop it. The more, I wish I could have waited a few more seconds because you're going to see how that's doing that now. You know you got a nice wet when it's going to be juicy and drippy like this, because we're going to do all four corners because we want it to softly be on all the edges, and don't be afraid to turn it a little bit. See how I'm kind of turning it, laying it down a little bit. I'll run it across, and I just kind of
a few people were wondering what brush you're using.
Well, I use several different brushes for my watercolors. When I want to do super tiny little areas, I use my Black Velvet by Silver Brush Limited, because I'll show you on the back here. I can go this tiny to this wide. Did that show up or is it too light? I mean,
we can see that. Perfect.
When I want, and that is it's got a full belly and a tight tip. When I want more laid down and the tight tip stops me, then I use the Faux Squirrel by Dynasty. And that is my 1 inch and my 1/2 inch brushes that I also do for my wedding. Okay. So this is what step 1 looks like. We want just all these hit and miss areas. And you notice when I laid it down, I didn't push it and stroke it. You let the water do it. It's not like acrylics. If you turn around and lay it in and then you're trying to move it, see how it loses all that loose edge. Drop it in and let the water wick it out. So that is step one. And then when that dries, look how fast mine dries. Ha ha ha. I had a second one ready for you. Then I wet it again. And I always wet further than I want the pigment to travel, because sometimes if the paper's really wet, it travels all the way up to the very edge you wet, and then you're going to get a hard color edge. You want it to continue out and dilute into the paper so you get real soft wispy, okay? All right, now same thing here. This time I'm just laying a little, less is more, okay guys? And you notice I made it thicker here and thinner there. You never want it. See how much more interesting that looks than if it's all almost the same width. And this is just a little bit further on the edge that we wanted, and it's gonna soften out. I just wanted to give it a little more depth in a few areas. Can you guys see that? And then this is what it looks like when it's dry, okay? So while that's drying, then we are going to start our butterfly. Step one of the butterfly is very, very soft. So again, that would be the palette technique. So I'm going to wet it. This time I'm doing pink and light blue. On the card, I did heliotrope and purple. You'll get to see up close. When I drop more than one color in, I let the water do it for me. See, I'm not trying to blend anything in any way, shape, or form. I am going to let this color just drop in. And it will do the blending all by itself. And you'll get some additional colors and some really cool, unique passages that you couldn't have planned on your own. Okay, once that dries, it looks like this. I knew we didn't have long, so I went ahead and preempted. Now, I'm gonna let you look at these down here. Notice these are very soft and those are bolder. These were done with the palette technique. I just loaded my brush up and I drew them in. Well, that's how I did the first time, and I'm like, no, I really wanted the colors, the purple to have more punch, and the soft colors in the background that have the Zen doodle on them to be much softer. So I did palette technique for the soft, and now this is all just draw and wet. So I turned around and did some in advance, and it's as easy as this. After this dries, you lightly draw your pattern on. I usually use a 2H graphite pencil because, first of all, the lines barely show if you don't erase them with your color. Second of all, an HB pencil sometimes has just enough loose pigment in it that it's going to interact with the colors that you put down and make them look a little muddy. So I always use a 2H. So I got all that done in advance, and it's as simple as this, guys. I am just, because I want them really dark, I'm drawing in a lot of pigment. See how that looks much darker than that? This is what you would want every one of them to look like. And then it is as simple as this. You just turn around and activate these colors. Notice I've not lifted my brush at all until I'm totally done, and I'll show you why. Acrylic brushes are meant to release all the pigment at once so you can move it all around. Watercolor brushes, every time they touch the paper, see how they're laying another little puddle of water? And when you go dab, 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 suddenly you have this huge puddle. If you lay it down and go back and forth, never lifting it, see how you have all the lovely color, but not that big puddle of water. That's a big mistake people have. So I'm going to just lay the brush down. I'm not lifting it at all. And again, all those pigment particles just effortlessly are going to dissolve. And then I have that bold, bold pigment. See how that's much darker than the rest of them? It's because I did like the 3-layer when I showed you in the beginning. I layered and layered and layered because I wanted this nice bright purple to be able to work with. So once that dries,
Just a quick question. Karen and I believe Bella are asking, do you use a stay-on ink for the stamping, or what do you use for the stamping?
what I always use when I stamp, well, I started with the Ranger. Stays on is good too. Basically, you want to make sure it's acid-free, permanent ink, and most importantly, waterproof. Okay? So many times I've had a real pretty thing. I thought I had waterproof and it reactivated. So you really want to make sure it's just waterproof. Okay? So, okay, getting back to this. So once stage 2 dries, it would really look like this because this was the drawn wet, this was palette. I did this to show you these colors really would not have stood out as much on that background as these bold ones did. So we really wanted that purple nice and bold, and the blue and the pink to be much softer. Okay. So once that is done, then it's time for inking. There's a lot of ink pens out there. I have always just used the Pigma Microns because I've had good luck with them. For this particular piece, I did a 03 nib. A 01 nib is going to be really fine. A 05 nib was actually too wide for a lot of these small little areas that I was doing a lot of the Zen on. But I wanted to share with you the Sakura Microns now have something called a PN. And what a PN is, it's a plastic nib as opposed to a felt nib. And if I have light pressure, I'm going to get that line, a little more pressure, a wider line, more pressure, even a wider line. So if you really would like to do a little bit of line work, but don't want to have to go out with, make a huge investment of several sizes, you could go with the PN, okay? And the PN is what I use all the time now, like for the center of the butterfly, I just inked in. I very easily could have taken my black watercolor pencil, which I'll do that on the other side to show you. You know, art is personal preference. At the time, I had that ink pen right in my hand, so I inked it. If you want it to look a little more dimensional, don't block it in 100%. You notice on the finished one, the center looks a little bit lighter. I got in and got out, and then on all the areas around it, I actually put another layer on so it would look a little darker. But I also could have taken my black watercolor pencil and we could have done it that way. Most of the times, I really try to keep costs down in all my packets. So instead of having them buy one more thing, they already had to get the pen. That's why I went with the pen too. Now I can leave it alone or I can wet it. That's another cool thing about the watercolor pencils. You do not have to wet them. They will be stationary and permanent just in their dry state too. So this just shows a little different. We have options in everything we do. The next thing I did was I filled in all of these small areas. And then I filled in this part right here. I'm not going to totally do it for time, but you get the idea. Then when that was done, you notice how thick this line is. Well, it really was thin. That was an afterthought. When I cut it out, I wanted there to be a nice black band around the edge of the butterfly. So I just turned around and did this and filled this additional area in before I cut it out. See how fast that PN fills in? It's really, and the plastic nib is especially great if anyone tends to be heavy-handed. Part of the reason they created this new nib is a lot of people were frustrated that their felt tips were bending because they were putting too much pressure on them. So we are almost done with our butterfly. Now we are down to just the line work. Some of the patterns I put in here are actual Zentangle patterns. Some of them are just fun doodles. Really, art is up to the person. So a real easy one is do a fat one and 2 small ones next to it on either side of it. That's a real easy Zen one. You can never go wrong putting another one up the center and just almost like snake skin marks. Circles are always fun to do. If you're going to do circles, make them all different sizes and then fill in between them with even littler ones. That's always fun to do. So you can
We also have, we're down to about the 5-minute, but I also have somebody asking, can you use these pencils on acetate, like for the butterfly?
Okay, acetate, plastic, shrinky dinks, anything like that. Yes, you can lay them on, but it's going to be mostly just the draw and wet technique because you're going to do limited water with it because the water has nowhere to go. You know, it's a slick surface. You can also do them on wood that has not been sealed. It almost has a luminescence effect to it. You just draw and wet. The pigment's going to activate and then it's going to sink into the wood, raise the grain a little bit, but it's a fun look and a fun technique. And again, you know, artists of all ages and abilities can work with them that way for that, which is pretty darn cool. Okay. I have a lot of these patterns on my website. I guess the only thing I really want to talk about my website is I've never, because the teacher in me is all about technique, and I'm always introducing mediums that decorative painters aren't really versed with. Every single pattern is a lesson. I never say, oh, I'm going to draw a pretty picture. I'm going to like, what technique haven't I taught yet? Oh, I use that on a barn. Guess what? This is going to be a barn. So and I'm going to do a lot more free videos and tutorials on my website. So I really hope people visit it down the road. Same with my Facebook page. All right, we only have a few seconds. I have to show you the sketch and wash pair if we have time, do we? Yes, no?
Yes, yes, yes. We have 2 minutes, so you have time.
Okay, this is sketch and wash. The same thing I did for the watercolor. All the techniques are the same. I'm going to put a few of these videos up, but I just wanted to wet your whistle. This started out this. You have to remember, never totally outline because then it'll be the entire same value on the edge and it's going to flatten it. So I basically drew in the white on the paper is my light value. This is my medium value. And down here, I'm going to make it another layer. That's going to be my dark value. Water activates it. Watch the magic. Really always wet the light area first. And then voila, look what happens when it meets up with water. Again, it's like the watercolor pencils. All the lines dissolve. So you just have all these gorgeous grayscale values to work with. And that is how quickly you can create a pair. If I want the stem light, I will wait till it dries. If I want it bold, right when it's wet, you draw. See how bold that line is because the water activated it off the tip. Voila, a pair. When it dries, you could come back. If you said, I wish it was darker, we'll just come back right off the bat, draw a little more, activate it. So you can build upon it value to value. You also, at this point, could have switched over to your regular graphite pencils and further developed it that way too. So it is a super, super cool, versatile tool. Goes over anything. You can use it in all mediums. Okay, was that fast enough?
That was fast enough. Good, good, good. And a couple of last minute questions here for us. So I don't know if you want to switch it back to we can see you. A couple were, do you find general pencils are soft, and what type of sharpener do you use?
You know, General Pencil does not make their sharpeners. They make all their pencils, pastel, charcoal, graphite, watercolor. They get all of their pencils from Germany. two things make a good sharpener: the type of blade and the angle of the blade. You can get canister ones, individual ones. Their blades are stainless steel German blades, so they're going to sharpen oodles and oodles of pencils before dulling. The angle is the angle that you would get of any pencil right out of the box. What you want is a small amount of pigment evenly exposed all the way around. If you expose too much, they tend to break. So I use General's Little Red All Art Sharpener. Again, Michael's, everybody has them.
Perfect, perfect. And then the other one was, could you color on the stamp, spritz with water, and then stamp?
Yeah, you probably could. You probably could. Or you could wet the stamp. We're going to find out right now. You can wet the stamp. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, you kind of can.
Oh, you know, I'm going to pin you again so that you're the main.
All right, I wet it. I rolled it across it. Let me see what it's going to do. All right, I rushed it, but you can also just wet the stamp with your brush, draw with the side of the pencil on it to load it. Be careful you don't load it too much, because then the areas underneath it are going to get wet too, and you're not going to get a clear stamp. See how I just did that? So now we know you can just wet the stamp and do it. Thank you. I wouldn't have thought of that, whoever
There
asked
you go.
I learned something new. Thank you. And I love that that happened, because how I came up with a lot of these techniques was just, I wonder what if, try it, and you either have success or failure. But that's how you grow your arsenal, how you get your own look, you know?
Yeah.
So experiment, experiment, experiment.
Perfect, perfect. And I just did our winner. So our winner for your prize is Shannon B. Riley. So I will.
Congratulations, Shannon B. Riley.
Yeah, congratulations, Shannon B. Riley. She will. She is the winner of the door prize. So I will get her information and send it to you, and then
we'll get that off in the mail for her.
Perfect, perfect. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much, Kathi. I just loved having you with us, and of course, we'll have you with us again. This was just awesome.
I would love it, and thank you so much for having me. And I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And some that came in late, they already said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll go back and see it on YouTube." Well, they can watch the repeat on Facebook, but then it'll be on YouTube on the weekend. So,
well, I've got lots of new stuff happening, and probably the best way is I have two Facebooks. That's the only reason I want to say this. Kathi Hanson is just where I can bore you with my children. But sadly, so many artists go there. I'm like, no, Kathy's Creative Studio is just going to be solid art. Going to start throwing a lot of videos now that I'm actually figuring out how to do this.
I'm so happy. So happy we could help you.
And thank you for having me. I do look forward to coming back.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and have a great week.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was amazing. I just love her. And I think I forgot to mention that she is up in Michigan. I know she's in the Upper Peninsula, that sort of thing. So she's up in Michigan and just enjoys her lifestyle there as well. So what a pleasure. And thank you so much for everybody coming on. It's been just great. So I think everybody really enjoyed seeing that and the ease of it. You know, I know myself, I struggle with watercolor. So it was kind of neat to see that. So, well, we have finally come to the end of the show, and we have two special guests with us today that I'm going to bring on. We have, see who's coming here first. Miss Debbie Cotton and Miss Holly Hanley. Hello, ladies. You're both sideways.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
That better for me?
I guess, yeah. There we go. It worked the other day when we did the practice. It worked when
I know. What about this way?
Oh yeah, there we go. Now you're good, Deb.
Okay.
Switched
Awesome.
it around.
It's
So
awesome.
anyway, I just want to let everybody know that we've been I just wanted to have something special this year. because everybody's gone through so much with COVID and we're all having to stay home. And there's just a lot of disappointment in our lives and our creative lives. So we just thought it would be kind of neat to bring a little bit of joy to everybody. So I asked Debbie and Holly a little while ago if they could come up with a special design that would be exclusive to Coast to kind of represent COVID and this very unique 2020 year. So we will have these designs available on our website. They'll be available on clothing, on bags. We're looking at possibly mugs, hats, even possibly masks. Holly came up with that idea and I loved it. I think that would be really cool. So I think we'll start with Debbie. She's going to show you her design. And also these designs will be available. Both of them will have pattern packs for the designs available on their websites that you can actually purchase the pattern pack and put it on whatever you want. So we are so excited. So Debbie, go ahead. I'll let you go first. I'm going to pin you. Hold on. And then you can
Okay, let me hold it up here. There it is. Can you see it okay?
Yes, we can see it perfectly. I'll let you talk about it a minute. I'm just going to mute my.
You still want it up?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I lost you for a couple of minutes. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you can just kind of bring it up a little bit, that everything was adorable about this piece. Just the hippie van, the colors. And then when you look down at that cute little adorable worm, and he has a little mask on. So that was just a really neat, subtle way of us just thinking, okay, yeah, breathe, strength, peace, just perfect for at this point in time. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute so they can enjoy the piece, and then we'll go to Holly. Okay, so now I'm going to try to do this. And now we'll present Holly's design. Let me just pin you, Holly, get you on the screen, and then you can bring up your piece.
Okay, I wasn't quite so subtle with the 2020. I did a little gnome, and well, she's wearing a little mask and she's carrying toilet paper because there was that huge toilet paper shortage where everybody freaked out and had to go buy toilet paper. So I thought it would be cute to add that in there. So there's a little roll of toilet paper and then the hand sanitizer. And then, of course, I've got lots of little germs that are running away and so on. And I just thought it would be like just something fun to put on a t-shirt or like a mask or anything. So my daughter is so excited. She wants to like have a t-shirt for sure. And so is my son, actually. And, you know, I think it's our womanly right to make changes last minute. I'm sorry, Audrey, I've been driving you crazy. But we're going to have two sayings. So the first one is just say no to germs. And then I also had the saying, and I couldn't decide which one, but first I had the spread sparkle, not germs. So I was trying to get that done while Kathi was talking, and I didn't quite get it done. So, but here it is. So anyway, I hope you guys like it. It's just a fun little piece. So anyway.
That is great. Yes, that's no problem, Holly. I just love having the two of you that you've designed these and just brought some fun and smiles and joy to everybody out there. And yeah, they're just amazing designs. And I think there'll be a lot of people wanting to order them to put them on whatever they want. So are they available right now on your websites already, or people can order them? Or they'll just email you, Holly. They'll go to Debbie's website.
Mine are on. Mine are ready.
Debbie is always ready. She's always like prepared. I'm a last minute girl, so I have my instructions all typed. I just have to finish the pattern, which will be done probably later tonight. So okay. I'm sorry.
So let's say next
It'll
week.
be on my website.
So
I know everybody's laughing at me. I'm sorry.
No.
You know what, Holly?
All good.
It's all good. And Holly has not little children, she has children at home that still need her care. And we all know it's a full-time job. And just to try to fit everything else into your schedule, we're just so happy that you were part of this and that, you know, you got it done and that we could present it. And everybody's going to enjoy these designs for years to come. We were kind of talking about it the other day that there's going to be all these, you know, all the children right now will, when they get older, they'll be able to show these designs and say, okay, this was the year 2020 and this is what we went through. It'll be, yeah, it's history. It really is.
It's really history. And I just want to wish everybody well, and hopefully everybody stays safe and wear a mask and have your sanitizer. My kids are starting school in 19 days. So I don't know. I wish everybody well. I hope everything goes well. So
yeah.
Stay safe.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And Debbie, any last words about, you'll have it on your website as well?
Yeah, I'll have it on my website. I actually, I didn't talk. I just kind of held it up so you guys could see it. I wanted to just mention a couple of little things about my design. Because as we all know, it's not so easy to come up with these designs. And when you actually asked me about doing a sort of a fun COVID related design, I wasn't sure at first I was up for the challenge because I thought, like, how do we turn this COVID thing into something that's fun? And it took quite a bit of thought. And I actually wanted to show you because I did a sketch first. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you because I wanted something fun and I was thinking family related. So I did a little sketch of birds and it's actually where the worm came in. So I'm going to hold this up. Can you guys see that? Okay, it's kind of cute. You can see Mama Bear squawking and little baby birds in the middle just hatched out of the egg. And then of course the dad's kind of looking like, what the heck? And Mama Bear is squawking at the worm, wearing the mask down below. So I liked it and I may still do something with it because once you get into the colors and everything, that becomes a lot more fun. Yeah, but I just couldn't really figure out the meaning in it quite as much. So I got thinking a little more and more. And that's when I came up with the hippie band idea. So not only is it fun, love the hippie style and all that kind of stuff, but also it kind of takes you back to a time where things were a little more carefree, not so stressful. And so I thought that was kind of important too. So yeah, so
love your band.
Kind of a little,
so cute.
What's that, sorry?
I love it.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's funny because now with all this COVID going on, RV sales are really going up, boat sales and cottages and stuff. People are really wanting to just get out of it all. So
well, they're not able to go on vacation, you know, other places, you know, they might have had vacation to the States or internationally, and now everybody has to stay home. So they're finding their joy in their own countries, which is kind of neat too, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So climb in that hippie van and have some fun.
Sounds wonderful. And we hope to have, I'm still in the process of getting the designs through the printer, what it's going to be on, cost, all that sort of thing. So hopefully by the end of next week, our section of our website, so it'll be on the Pin It Canada website, and it's going to be Pin It Canada Marketplace. So it'll be a separate little section, and that's where you can go and you'll be able to find all the designs and order them through there as well. So yeah, we're so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming up with the design, bringing joy to everybody, and for coming on the show. Just really, everybody is going through. I see the feed here. Everyone's so cute, girls. We need the websites. Thank you. So cute, adorable designs. Love both pieces. I'll have to order both. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you too for being on the show. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And so I just wanted to say goodbye to everybody and thank you for being on this great show. We've gone a little bit longer. We had a few extra things to get through. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, those designs will be on our website and available to purchase items hopefully next week. It is a process right now because like the printer, normally they get back to me within 24 hours. They of course have to source these different items out from different companies, and it's just taking a lot longer for the whole process taking a lot longer. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we will have something available on our website for you by next week. We'll post the designs there anyway, so you can see the designs, and also make sure that you go to Holly's website and Deb's website, and we will post those both on our Facebook feeds. And then you can go and purchase the designs to paint on whatever you want, or you can purchase the actual items, gift items, and like I said, aprons, bags, shirts. We're looking at a few different things, so that should be available by next week. So anyway, next week on our show live, we have Linda O'Connell from New York. She will be our live guest next week, Thursday, and we're excited to have her on the show as well. So she's also, just a little sneak peek, she's also going to be teaching for us in London next year, which is really kind of nice. We've had a couple of new teachers come on board for the show next year. So I will tell you more about that next week as well. So make sure you like, comment, share our posts, go to our page, our our YouTube page to see past shows, and have a great week. And thank you for joining us. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.